The Golden Girls graced our television screens from 1985 to 92. This much-beloved sitcom brought to the table a delightful blend of humor, drama, and relatability that instantly captured hearts across the nation. But today, we're going to peel back the curtain and reveal some amusing bloopers and mistakes that may have slipped under your radar. Facts Verse presents This Scene Wasn't Edited. Look closer at the Golden Girls bloopers. The Enigma of the Game Show episode. In one particularly memorable episode, the girls were once full of excitement, ready to make their appearance on the popular game show Grab That Dough. But this enthusiasm was abruptly dashed when they were robbed, losing their suitcases and all their money. Their predicament seemed bleak until, in a surprising twist, they triumphed on the game show and won enough money to fund their journey home. But this situation triggered a puzzling question. How did they manage to travel back without any form of identification? The initial trip to the game show required a plane journey, which under normal circumstances necessitates identification. They were in California, and then, before we knew it, they had returned to Miami. The ease of the return trip without any hint of identification-related issues leaves us scratching our heads. Rose's bedroom mystery. One of the many curiosities in Golden Girls pertains to the elusive location of Rose's bedroom. Despite being set within the confines of a house, the set designs had their own quirks and rarely matched a realistic architectural layout. It seemed, to the viewers at least, that Rose's bedroom was nestled comfortably in the middle of the backyard. As for the garage, even Michael Hines, the show's assistant art director, confessed to being clueless about its position. But it appears to be the pathway leading to Blanche and Dorothy's bedrooms. The confusing abode of Stan. Stan, Dorothy's ex-husband, seemed to possess the ability to teleport. One moment he was residing in Maui with his new wife, a fact revealed during their daughter Kate's wedding. Yet a handful of episodes later, he was back in Miami, leaving the audience scratching their heads. Dorothy's fear of flying, or not. Dorothy's fear of flying was a well-established characteristic, and yet in Season 2, she was flying around without any apparent issue. A case of conquering her fears or a narrative hiccup? The time warp of cohabitation. Among the seemingly innumerable peculiarities in Golden Girls, the timeline of the girls' cohabitation stands out. In Season 3, during a shared psychiatry session, the girls claimed to have lived together for 5 years. But as the series progressed, this timeline became less straightforward. By Season 7, Blanche, eager to install a hot tub, was told she needed a permit for all 3 girls to live in the house. Later in the same season, as Blanche sold each of them a share of the house, they referred to a cohabitation period of 7 years. This 7-year assertion raised eyebrows, considering that back in Season 3, they professed a 5-year living arrangement. By the natural progression of time, by Season 7, the girls should have chalked up a total of 9 years living together, not 7. Dorothy's varying recollection of her first date. As many of us can surely attest, our minds are not always the most reliable narrators. And Dorothy demonstrated this perfectly. The story of how she and Stan had their first date was retold multiple times, each rendition vastly different from the previous ones, from a knight in shining armor scenario at prom to her getting swooned by his car. The intrigue of Rose's education. If you're a stickler for continuity, you might have picked up on a sizable discrepancy concerning Rose's education. The lovable character brought to life by the iconic Betty White was fond of regaling others with tales of her high school valedictorian days and college adventures. Yet a later storyline has her enrolling in a GED class taught by Dorothy, throwing into question her previous claims of educational prowess. The ever-changing family trees. Keeping up with the family dynamics in Golden Girls was akin to following a complex soap opera. The family tree seemed to grow new branches with each passing episode, especially for Blanche, who magically went from having 1 daughter to 2 and also acquired 3 sons, only one of whom made an appearance. Rose, not to be outdone, saw her family expand from 5 children to 6. The mystery of Miles. Miles, Rose's beau, made an interesting revelation when he confessed to being in the Witness Protection Program, estranged from his family. but his daughter decided to pop by for a visit in Season 5, baffling the audience and contradicting the established narrative. Rose and her hospital dilemma. Everyone has their fears, and Rose was unequivocal about her dislike of hospitals, mainly due to the associated germs. Yet her actions belied her words when she volunteered at a hospital. Rose and the Cat Conundrum. A narrative around Rose's allergy to cats is as tangled as a ball of yarn. Initially, she moved into the Golden Girls' house because her previous residence had a no-cat policy. However, Season 4's High Anxiety claims her allergy to be the barrier to cat ownership. So, what's the truth, Rose? The stunt double debacle. Remember Rose's thrilling dance-off, complete with cartwheels? As entertaining as it would have been to see her pull off these moves, the appearance of a clearly visible stunt double left us chuckling at the on-screen blunder. The Shapeshifting Rooms. The Golden Girls' house had a touch of Hogwarts about it, with rooms that seemed to change at will. The bathroom situation was a particularly puzzling feature, with shared facilities in some seasons and personal bathrooms in others. The puzzle of Blanche's middle name. Blanche was known for being vague about her age, and it seems she extended this ambiguity to her middle name too. Initially, she introduced herself as Blanche Marie. Later, this mysteriously transformed into Blanche Elizabeth. The curious case of Rose's last name. The confusion around Rose's last name is also worth noting. At one point, she claims to have been adopted by the Nyland family, which contradicts the known facts. Her maiden name is Lindstrom, and Nyland is her married name, a head-scratching error indeed. Phil's funeral fiasco. Despite being repeatedly established that Sophia hailed from Brooklyn, her son Phil's funeral was inexplicably held in Miami, a location with seemingly no connection to him or his family. Blanche's children, a riddle wrapped in a mystery. Blanche's family was a hotbed of confusion. In the initial seasons, she spoke of 6 children: Biff, Doug, Janet, Matthew, Rebecca, and Skippy. But by the 3rd season, 2 of these names disappeared when Blanche declared she had only 4 kids. The contradictory relatives of Rose. Rose's family has been a subject of mild intrigue throughout the series. She often suggests that her family members, like her, are a bit quirky and less than brilliant. However, when we eventually meet her relatives on screen, they appear to be quite normal and highly intelligent. The only one who seems to mirror Rose's unique persona is her cousin Sven. Miles's unexplained location swaps. In the 6th season episode, There Goes the Bride, Rose informs us that Miles is touring Europe with some students. However, the episode preceding this one tells us Miles has been placed back into the witness protection program. This leaves us questioning how Miles could possibly be gallivanting across Europe while under witness protection. A timeline that refuses to add up. In a 2nd season episode, And Then There Was One, we encounter an odd inconsistency. A father comes to pick up baby Emily and mentions that his wife just gave birth to triplets the previous night. The catch? Emily appears to be at least 6 months old. Dorothy's mysterious second job. In the episode Bedtime Story, the girls share Sophia's bed due to a freezing cold front. Dorothy, upset about the disruption to her sleep, exclaims she has to get up early for work the next morning. Which brings up the question, does Dorothy have a second job we don't know about? The series never gives us a clear answer. Now it's time to hear from you. Which one of these facts was most surprising to hear about?